What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Side. Today we have here a Lexus NX with factory navigation. We're going to be installing our plug-and-play wireless CarPlay Android Auto retrofit. Installation is going to be pretty easy. We just need to remove the radio and the top screen, make the connections behind it, and we're going to route all our cables towards the glove box. And right up on top of the glove box, there's a cavity large enough to fit both of our boxes and our extra wiring and harnesses up there. So I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to do so. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. You should be able to do it on your own. So it's not wasting any time. Get in the car and get started. All right, guys, so now that we're in the car, let's get started. The first thing we want to do is let's remove the shift knob. So push down on the shift boot using both of your hands. If you have a difficult time doing so, you could use the assistance of a panel removal tool. Push it down and then go ahead and just turn this counterclockwise. All right, and make sure you leave this in a safe location where you won't lose it. Okay, and then go ahead and raise your armrest. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and first remove this piece. It's a little mirror. Let's put it aside. We're gonna go ahead and remove this piece here, and then we're gonna remove this. And use a panel removal tool when necessary. All right, and if you have a difficult time removing any of these parts, you can always use your panel removal tool, okay? All right, next we're gonna go ahead and remove these two panels here. Just grab a hold of this and just pull it towards you, okay? And you don't have to pull that hard actually. Just pull it just enough that it flexes out. And then next thing you'll know, the clips will release from its locations. All right, let's go ahead and set these aside. All right, go ahead and set this down for now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and remove this glove box. All right, go ahead and first release the piece here to the right using a panel removal tool. Okay, and then go ahead and grab a hold of this and just pull it towards you. All right. Next, we are going to remove this, but before we remove this, we have to remove this piece here. And how to remove this is you could use panel removal tool. Just try grabbing this and pulling it towards us. You might have to pull this, the panel right under it, just to release the two clips under this too as well. And then we're going to use the assistance of a panel removal tool. Before, we used to just drop the whole entire thing, whole entire under panel, but it's not necessary to drop this. It is a little bit more work to drop the whole piece, but we do have to remove all the panel from the left side of the car. So now we learn to be a little bit more efficient. All we have to do is release this panel from the clips. All right, there it is. And then now we could remove the top. There it is. Okay, now that that's out, this is ready to come out. To remove this, there's these clips on the side that's holding it. Go ahead and just release it outwards by using your hands and just rolling it out like this. And then just go ahead and just do it little by little bit. All right. And then you could just kind of wiggle it out at the top. Go ahead and set this aside in a safe location. Okay, so now this is ready to be removed. This center console piece. Go ahead and raise your armrest. I'm gonna go ahead and pull from the back side. I'm gonna pull up. Okay. We're gonna just keep the connectors on here for now. You don't necessarily have to remove it, but just be careful not to scratch or damage this piece while you're maneuvering around the radio area to remove all your panels. And next, make sure your emergency e-brake is on. I believe for this car it's electronic. Make sure it's on before you change the gear, or else your car will roll. All right, and next, let's go ahead and remove this climate control and just pull it towards you. Just being held by clips. All right, there it is. And as long as you pull it straight towards you, you won't end up breaking your clips, okay? So just make sure you pull it straight out. All right, and once we remove that, we went ahead and we release this connector. Just to press down on the release tab and pull out straight, okay? All right, next, let's go ahead and remove these 10mm bolts. There's one on the right and there's one on the left. And this is with a 10mm socket. You could use a wrench. We're using a power tool. All right, so that is ready to come out. Before we do that, we're gonna lay a towel to protect the radio from this shift knob. We don't want it to get a scratch. But before we pull it out, let's go ahead and remove the top screen. It's also gonna be two 10mm bolts. And you'll be removing it using a 10mm socket and either a ratchet or a power tool, such as the one you see right now. Now let's go ahead and pull this guy. So just place your hand up here, pull it towards you. And in the back, there's going to be two connectors. One for your video and one for your power and your backup camera and the other part. There's a clip that's holding this. Go ahead and remove this clip by using a flathead screwdriver. All right, so we're just going to just pry it out. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay. Go ahead and set your screen aside in a safe location. Just be careful. There's actually sharp edges here, so wherever you put it, just don't put it on your seat. If you're gonna put it in the seat, just put it on top of a towel and so forth. So just note that these edges are a bit sharp. Okay. All right. So now that the screen is out, let's go ahead and hold onto the radio and pull it towards you, like so. All right. We're just gonna go ahead and leave it at that. Before we do our connection, let me show you which connectors and cables and wires we're going to be working on, which is going to be this large one here, okay, and then also this one here. All right, this one's for your auxiliary and your audio. That's going to be a main interface connector. Okay, so let's first connect our main interface connector. Okay, I'm going to undo the wire ties. All right, here's our main connector. These CAN wires are already going to be pre-configured for you, so go ahead and just leave it alone. And it's going to be pre-configured as long as you give us the details of your car. If it's not pre-configured for this Lexus NX, you're going to want to go to this red wire here and then connect it to these white and our orange cables. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. But once again, it's gonna already be pre-configured, so don't mess or touch with these, because a lot of times when our customers do touch these, it just ends up not working. So just go ahead and leave it alone like so. It's going to be pre-connected. And then we're going to go behind the radio. There's going to be a release tab for this connector here. Okay, so we're going to push down the release tab. You can use a flathead screwdriver as well, which will release like so. And then in place, we're going to connect our main harness. But before we do so, let's go ahead and loop this around to the top just to give it more slack, because we are connecting a pretty large cable to it. Okay, everything is going to click into place pretty nicely. All right, next we are going to route these three connectors, or these three cables, bunch of wires. It's gonna be the main harness connector, the microphone, and the power cable. I'm gonna route it from behind the radio all the way to this area here, okay? So there's gonna be an opening where a lot of the factory cables are being routed through. So we're gonna use the same route. Let me go ahead and route one cable at a time. We're going to use our left hand. There's an opening here. We're going to push up. And while you're pushing up, we're going to catch it with our right hand. Okay. Just be careful when you put your hand in here. You might scratch your hand a bit. So just be a little bit cautious about that, because there's some sharp edges in the back that can scratch you. Just be careful. All right, so we now have this power cable and this microphone cable, 3.5mm microphone cable. I'm gonna go through the same route. Okay, while you're routing it, be careful not to catch the wire onto any sharp edges. And if you feel like your wire is caught onto something, instead of forcefully pulling it, just assess and see what's going on and try to maneuver around whatever is catching it in order to prevent any sort of damage to the harness. All right, so next step, we're going to connect this auxiliary harness. This is for your audio to your CarPlay. Okay, so I'll get behind the radio, and it's going to be over here on the left side. All right, so when you connect the female side of our harness to the male side from the car, if you have a hard time pushing it in straight, some customers do, just go ahead and try to connect it at an angle. Okay, a little bit at an angle, and then push it in. Then it'll go in beautifully. All right, so the male side will connect to the radio. All right, then let's go ahead and route this audio cable the same way we routed the other cables. All right, so all the cables and the wires, harnesses from the radio has been routed, so we're gonna go ahead and push our radio back in. And then let's go ahead and route our GVIF cables from the upper screen all the way here. So we got the GVIF in and GVIF out. So we're gonna go ahead and route them one at a time. Okay. Very, very easy. See here, just use your right hand to catch it from this opening. And then from here, you go ahead and push it over to the next opening here, like so. All right, let's go ahead and do it for both. Okay, the screen side, let's go ahead and connect our GVIF. This is in. We're going to connect it to the factory male connector, and then our male connector is going to go into the screen. And this factory connector will connect back in as well. So let me grab the screen and then go ahead and reconnect our cables. Okay, and if you notice on the screen, there's going to be one white connector that's going to be empty. So go ahead and just leave that empty, and these are the only two connectors we're going to be using. All right, and let me go ahead and put this back in here and connect our boxes and test for operation before we reassemble the whole kit. So let me see, actually, let me go ahead and reconnect our climate control as well, just so we don't get any error on the dash. Okay, and then let me go ahead and push this back in. So let's go ahead and connect our interface boxes. So the first one, the dip switch is already going to be pre-configured for you depending on the vehicle and the version of this interface that you receive. It might be a little different than what you see in the video. But if you do end up accidentally changing or touching the dip switches during installation, just go ahead and flip it to the back, and the dip switch configuration setting will be here. So whatever it says here, go ahead and confirm to what's set. All right, so let's first go ahead and connect our main interface harness. So over here, okay, it connects like this. And we also have these two GVIF cable. One is labeled GVIF in. It's going to connect to the outer edge, and the one that is labeled GVIF out is going to connect to the inside. Okay, like so. And then on the other side of this, there's going to be one HDMI connector. So we're going to go ahead and connect the HDMI connector to it. All right, like so. And then let's grab our other box. And on this box, we're going to connect our power cable. Power cable is here. And then let's connect our two 3.5 millimeter cables. The one that's labeled audio is going to connect to line out. Do not connect to the one next to it. That's for external speaker and it's mono. So you're going to get distorted sound if you connect to the plug next to it. So you don't want that. And then for the microphone in, we're going to connect to mic. Okay. And then the HDMI is gonna connect to this HDMI here. And then we have the USB and then the RF antenna. So the USB extension cable, we will connect to this. And then the other side of the USB extension cable, we will route it to the glove box for this vehicle. There's no really good place to route it on this car, so we find that the glove box is the best place. Okay, and then the RF antenna is for your wireless CarPlay. And we will connect it there, and then we will route this. Probably put it somewhere around here. Should be sufficient. All right, so I'm just gonna let this hang here for a bit. Let me just go ahead and test this device for correct operation. So if you remove the negative terminal on the car's battery, right now is the time to reconnect it. And then go ahead and turn this on. It might take a minute or so for the system to load because the radio will probably reset itself. All right, so we'll give it a moment here. Because I'm just testing it for correct operation, I'm not gonna connect my phone to the CarPlay wirelessly yet. Just do a quick test. Just make sure everything is working as it should. All right, so first we wanna do is go ahead and press the media button. And we're gonna keep pushing it until auxiliary AUX is selected. All right, there it is. Make sure your volume is in listening level. Go to your sound, make sure your EQ is centered. And then go ahead, press and hold the home button. Switch over the screen here. Let's play some music. Okay, let me summon Siri. What's the weather?
It's currently clear and 72 degrees.
All right.
Expect cloudy.
Let me make sure the night mode works. So I'm gonna push the start button one more time to point the ignition. And then let me look for the light sensor. Okay, there's a light sensor. I'm gonna cover the light sensor. Let's turn on the headlights. All right, there it is. There is my night mode. And then daytime mode. And let me also check my steering wheel controls. Up track and down track. All right, looks like everything is working as it should. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up the wires and cables in this area, tuck it in here, and then reverse order everything we just did to reassemble the whole entire kit with the radio, and that will conclude our installation. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and cleaned up all the cables, wires. I tucked in the two boxes and also organized the cables. So let me show you what I did. I placed the dip switch box on the bottom, on the wireless module on top. I double-sided taped them together. I added some foam tape here on the left so that it's really tight. It's not gonna move. And some of the cabling that I see over here, I went ahead and zip tied them together. Just to keep them put, and we have rest of the cables tucked behind back there. All right, that's how we did it. And then we routed the USB extension cable down there, and then it comes out here. Okay, and this is if you want to use it for charging your phone or wire CarPlay. And then where we mounted the RF antenna is just right up here. This is double-sided tape we removed. We put it here. It's stuck on pretty good. You don't want it to be right next to these boxes, but keeping a little bit of distance is okay. If you put this right on the box, then it could catch some interference. So right here is okay. If you want, you could go ahead and route it to other locations, but there should be enough space between them. All right, now let me go ahead and reassemble the interior of the car, and that will conclude our installation. Alright guys, so we finished installing the kit. We reassembled the vehicle. So let me go ahead and do a really quick demonstration. So before we do this demonstration, one thing to note, you do have to make sure your Bluetooth is connected to the vehicle. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay, I see that it's connected, Lexus NX. So once it's connected, make sure the name shows up as Lexus NX. If it doesn't, press the I on the right side while your phone is connected to the car and select the name and change the name to Lexus NX. Because if it has any other name, such as like car accessory, car media, car multimedia, the word car in it, then the phone calls won't properly route to the car's Bluetooth. So make sure you do that. And then at the same time, go to your accessibility and then touch and call audio routing all the way at the bottom. Make sure you change it to Bluetooth headset. This will ensure that your calls will be routed to the car's Bluetooth successfully. And also, the third thing you need to do is make sure your phone is connected to the new CarPlay device wirelessly as well. So before we get into our CarPlay mode, just want to make sure that your media source is in auxiliary. Okay, so it's in auxiliary. So you want to press and hold the home button, which will switch it over to the CarPlay screen. And once it's over here, this is a screen that you'll see when nothing is connected. So we're going to do our first initial connection. Go to General, go to CarPlay, and we're going to wait until it shows up over here. All right, there it is. Go ahead and select it. It's going to ask you if you want to pair, allow, and give it about 5 to 10 seconds, and it'll automatically launch. Once you make this initial connection, going forward, whenever you turn on the car, your phone will connect to the CarPlay wirelessly by itself, but you do have to long press the home button to go in and out. So in and out of CarPlay screen. All right, so let me go do a quick demo. So we're gonna play some music here. Volume controls, you control with this knob, or you can also control from your steering wheel. You don't see the actual change being shown on the screen, but it is actually changing in the background. And we also have the track up and track down from the steering wheel working as well. And this voice command here is locked to the Lexus system, so it's not going to work with your new CarPlay Android Auto. Instead, you're going to have to press the menu button. What's the weather?
It's currently clear and 74 degrees.
And then the back button will work as a back button. And you could use this touchpad here, like as you can see, to move over to the other screen. It's easiest if you just push down on the screen and just swipe. Just push down and just slide it. You go ahead and use a sliding motion. And pushing down will select the icons and so forth. So let me go ahead and do just a sample call here. So I'm calling my other phone, and as you can see, it selected Lexus NX. That's exactly how I want it. And if you want to hang up the phone, you could use the steering wheel control. All right, and at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and make a phone call to my Apple phone. All right, and I could pick up using the steering wheel control. Okay, pick up, and then confirm that it is using Lexus NX. And I could go ahead and hang up afterwards as well. All right. One thing I want to go over just so you understand the kit better is right now the phone is connected to both the CarPlay Bluetooth and the car's Bluetooth. So car's Bluetooth for phone calls and CarPlay Bluetooth for music. That's how we set it. But because of that, you might run into this. So say that you're listening to some music and you go back to your factory screen and you want to use the car's Bluetooth, right, instead of auxiliary. We select Bluetooth. And you're playing music, you will see the counter go, but you don't hear any music, even though the volume is up. That is because your phone is outputting music to CarPlay. So you could use the drop down and look at that logo. That's the CarPlay logo. So if you want to hear music in Bluetooth audio, you do have to switch this over to Lexus NX. Okay. And same thing, say that you're using the car's Bluetooth and now you want to go back to using the CarPlay. So you want to first change your source to auxiliary, and you go long press home, you press play, and once again you won't hear any music because your phone is playing to the car's Bluetooth. Okay, so you select that, you select this, and then you can go ahead and select CarPlay, and then you'll hear it. All right, so to disconnect We're gonna just go to our settings and disconnect or turn off our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So turn off our Wi-Fi, turn off our Bluetooth, and it'll disconnect our phone from the CarPlay device. And now if you want to connect an Android phone, it's a little bit easier. Just go to your settings, go to connections, and then just connect via Bluetooth. I'll turn the Bluetooth here. Make sure your Wi-Fi is also connected. Alright, so the MV17WBT showed up. When selected, I'm pairing it. Phone is now going through the process of connecting to the wireless CarPlay. In order for this to work on your Android phone, make sure that your Android Auto is turned on under the Android Auto setting. Okay, so here's how the Android Auto looks. The controls are going to be the same. The back button, it just works as a back button. Track up and also track down. And then the volume controls up, and then volume controls up and down here as well. If you want to summon Google Assistant, same, just press the menu button. What is the weather? There it is. Alright guys, well this concludes our installation demonstration on this Lexus NX with navigation. The same kit is also compatible with many other 2013 and 2021 Lexus models. If you have any questions, email us at info@beatsonicUSA.com. Don't forget the USA at the end. Or you can leave a comment below and I'll make sure to answer all your questions. Otherwise, if you haven't yet, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel so it helps our channel grow for the future. Thanks guys for watching again. I'll see you guys in the next video.